It's been a long time and I miss this feeling. It feels like freedom, it feels like healing. Floating off the floor, past the ceiling. The wind in my hair, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel as I'm taking flight. Man, I'm feeling like myself again. Hey, man, I'm feeling like myself again. It's been a long time and I miss this feeling. It feels like freedom, it feels like healing. Floating off the floor, past the ceiling. The wind in my hair, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel as I'm taking flight. Man, I'm feeling like myself again. Hey, man, I'm feeling like myself again.
Oh my gosh, trilla. All right, guys, welcome to our first ever the No BS show. First of all, I had no idea Trilla was so nice with the graphics. Trilla, that theme song is everything. Thank you so much. I love it. I didn't know whether to smile or cry. Like, wow, he went way back on me. Good evening.
And wait until you see the outro. But anyway.
Oh my gosh. So everybody, this is our debut show. I'm Sonja, of course.
Trilla, the thriller in Manila.
The thriller. We from Atlanta and the D Tweezy. And we welcome you guys to the show. Shout out to the Huddle Sports Network for having us on live. We are live, and we're going to replay this. Don't you worry. It's going to be replayed on all the networks, Northeast Streaming Sports, all that good stuff. I mean, what up, though? I want to say it so bad. What up, though?
What up, though?
We got to do a tiny shout out. BMF, the new season kicks off tomorrow night on Stars. I cannot wait. Do you watch that show, Big Strilla?
No, I've been wanting to check it out, though.
Listen, I mean, anytime there's something that's from the city that I'm in or that I'm from, I'm definitely going to try to watch it because I just want to see, you know, what type of graphics and stuff they got, what they put in there.
I remember there was a show up for Detroit. It was a police show that they had on Detroit.
Detroit 187.
Yeah, the 187. Yeah, they had it on for a couple of seasons, and it went out. I'm getting sick. And it's not even. I watched something else that had a New York show, a show about Atlanta, LA show. I'm getting sick of seeing all these Chicago Hope, Chicago 5-0, Chicago Dreams,
Fire.
I'm not a big Chicago person.
It's literally called the One Chicago series.
Yeah, Chi-Town.
I actually liked it. So let's welcome in our audience because I'm sharing galore. You guys make sure you share. Sharing is caring. Say hello, come in, greet us. We're here. This is a combination of sports, and you get the title, the No BS Show. And it's always but it's for Brian and Sonja, but no bull, either. And we're super excited about being here. This is going to be a weekly show. We do Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so shout out to the YouTubers coming on. Shout out to the TikTokers, Instagram, Facebook, and of course here, the StreamYard, Roku channel, all that. We got some folks saying hello. What, Mr. Rick? Thank you for supporting us. Hello.
What up, Rick?
How are you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for coming on. We're gonna have so much fun. All right, so I'm gonna call BS first on this whole. I mean, it's kind of a little bit of old news, but I do want to kind of talk about it for a brief second, and then we're gonna blend into some more no BS news. Strilla, Tom Thibodeau is out as the Knicks coach, and now it's like they're on a coaching hunt. They just got eliminated. Do you think it was really fair? I mean, he did have a bad reputation of not using his bench, but in all fairness, his bench really wasn't that good.
I mean, well, if you don't use your bench, how do you know they're good? He has a habit of not. Younger players or players that are developing. He doesn't like developing players. He likes taking players that are already developed What up, J Train?
What up, J Train? Hey, bro.
Woo-woo. Anyway, yeah. I don't know. I seen this coming. Actually, last year, a lot of people were talking about it. They said if he didn't do good this year, or if he didn't make the finals this year, he would probably get booted because he's been doing this. Well, he made the Eastern Conference Finals. They're talking about the championship.
Oh, the finals.
Yeah, the finals. So I mean, it was a murmurs going around. If he doesn't make it to the championship, then he's got to go because he's been trying to do this for 3 years and 3 productive years. Yeah. Like I said, it's the same thing. I alluded to the same thing what the Pistons did with Rick Carlisle. They had him for 3 or 4 years, and he couldn't get past the Eastern Conference Finals. And the Pistons said, dude, you're all right, but we need to go higher. We're trying to win championships here.
Yeah, they
not make playoff appearance. So they got Larry Brown. And what did Larry Brown do the first year? Take him to the championship. Took him to a championship the next year. So, I mean, you never know. I don't know what the plan with New York is right now. I don't know what their plan is, but I would hope that if they got rid of Tibbs, that they had a plan.
Tibbs.
Tibbs. Mr. Tibbs. Mr. Tibbs.
Well, I don't know. And, some folks is out there talking about Jalen Brunson's daddy. Listen, Jalen Brunson's daddy is not going to be the coach of the Knicks, y'all. You could slow that down. They are not going to have him in as the shot caller. It's the difference in playing alongside your immediate family member than letting one of your family members be the shot caller. Like, that is not happening. You want to talk about chaos in the locker room. If they were to do that, that would be an absolute mess, Trilla, right?
What is that called? New York will regress. Yeah,
New York will regress.
Yeah, they
New
will.
York will regress.
Well, yeah, I mean,
they're not going to have a winning. They don't even have an option to get a winning coach. What up,
What's up, Nate? Nate the Great.
Nate the Great. Nate will be joining us sometime. Oh, yeah, Lawson decided to make an appearance. Shout out to Lawson in the backdrop.
He still got that sour look on his face.
He's so mad. He's so mad. I mean, I don't know. The thing is, for me, like, I just feel like it was unfair. He did the best he had with what he had to work with. And, I do call BS on this. Do better, New York. You definitely will not be going back to the playoffs next season. I mean, I don't know. Are they going to go back? I don't know whether to say yay or nay.
I mean, they still got us. I mean, the players are still there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like saying that about when people make offensive and defensive coaching changes in the NFL. You still have your players. If your players have been there for a long time, there shouldn't be, the talent is not gone from the Knicks. I don't know why they would even, they will make the playoffs again. I don't think they won't make the playoffs again. They're a good team.
Maybe the first round. I'm going to think that the Knicks really end up playing for this. Hey, Blair, my new colleague. Thank you so much for joining me tonight from the Memphis 10, the 3-6, Homo 3-6. Nate said
that's what I'm saying, Nate.
Nick still top 3 team. They'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. They'll be fine. I don't know about top 3.
That's because that's his team. That's because that's Nate's team.
Well, yeah,
he's biased. I mean, all right. So moving along, speaking of other BS, which is absolutely crazy before we get there, DeCarry just always turning back into a pumpkin for Tibbs. Yeah. In the East for real. Guys, I call BS on this next thing. Derek Carr comes out, says he walked away from $30 million from the New Orleans Saints. J-Train, that's your former quarterback. Y'all was ready to get him up out of there. He said he just couldn't see himself having surgery and sitting on the sidelines earning a check. Wow. Thank you, Blair. Thank you so much. I did my own makeup. I'm trying to get there. Shout out to my hair and makeup person, Katrina Harris. Since I moved last year into the city, I don't get to her as much as possible. So I had to do some little 1-2 steps on myself. So shout out to her though. She is the bomb.com, the beauty extraordinaire. But I mean, what do you think? Do you think Derek Carr is just really this type of honest player that he really didn't see himself sitting there collecting a check, or did he basically read it writing on the wall that he was on his way out anyway?
I mean, come on now. It's admirable that he did that. I mean, to come out and say that, because you have to actually come out and say stuff because people make so many assumptions in the media. off the grid about what you are, what kind of player you are. I think that's great. I think that he did it. I mean, just like, hey, that's J Train's team. J Train said, "Thank you for saving us $30 million," and that's exactly what Carr did. He saved you $30 million, and he said, "I wasn't going to sit on a bench like some people and collect a paycheck."
Yeah, these folks are trying to sit out, wait on contracts, Trey Hendrickson, all of that. Oh, J Train said, Mr. Holy. I think this stems from him going into the church and basically talking about how he had this injury that no one believed he had. He was speaking at a church in Las Vegas. Go figure. And
in Las Vegas.
Go figure.
Go figure. Anyway,
go figure.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's genuine. I know J Train is kind of bitter toward Carr because but I mean, he doesn't have to worry about Carr anymore. I mean, they still got comparable quarterbacks there in New Orleans. So I mean, hey, if you want to call it BS, I guess you can call it BS, but I think it's kind of legitimate to me. Whatever, that's cool.
I will say this before we move on to the Derek Carr conversation. When we start talking about Tom Thibodeau, the playoffs are starting tonight. They are starting here in a few minutes. So you guys are not going to miss much. Not going to miss much. Oklahoma City Thunder projected to just bring the rain continuously, bring the storms on the Pacers. I mean, people have $1.5 million in Vegas bets on the Thunder to win the series. That's a lot of money. So I guess if they don't win, then the person that bets against them, they get $1 million. Like,
well, no, what it is, if they lose, that's where the loss will come for the person that if Indiana manages to win the finals, that's a negative 700. So you need to put $1.5 million down to cover that bet, because if you lose, Vegas is making some money.
Yeah, so, Vegas making some big money.
I mean, because you look at it, putting $1.5 million down there, and you're only getting $150, extra for winning, $150K. I mean, that's no little piece of money. But usually what you see is people putting, like, somebody put down that kind of money for the Indiana Pacers to win that series. Now you're talking some big money.
Right.
All the odds are against them. Yeah. If they win that series, you wouldn't have to worry about working no more.
Yeah. I mean, so that's coming up here soon. Who you got though, B?
What, for the finals?
Yeah.
No BS. It's OKC.
Do you think, how many games do you think it's going to
go? Probably 5. It's going to be like what me and J Train call the gentleman series. It's probably going to have Indiana can stay with OKC. OKC is just a better team than the Pacers are. They're better in just about every part. But I do see Indiana pulling one out, probably at home.
They're
an underrated team, but they're not gonna win but one game. Come on, J Train. You know better than that, bro.
J Train's gonna have to, of course, guest on here. What's up, Robbie?
What's up, Robbie?
Robbie, just in time for our stay tuned. We're gonna talk about you in a minute, Robbie. Finals look horrible on papers. Pacers are gonna get swept. And J Train said it's going to 7.
It is not going to 7, J Train. You don't even believe that. Now that's some BS, man.
That's some BS. I think 5 for real. I mean, but verdict is out. Of course, we talked about the Knicks doing their coaching search. Caitlin Clark for the WNBA is being evaluated for a quad strain, Strella. She's going to be reevaluated this weekend. They talked about how much ticket sales have gone down for the next couple of games because they don't know if she's going to be available or not. Like, she brings the wow factor to the WNBA.
But this brings up an interesting conversation me and Nate the Great had one time. He believes that Caitlin Clark is bringing in the money for the WNBA, which he probably is pretty half right. I'm going to tell you the reason why I say this. and that the WNBA is not at its all-time high because of just her. It's because of her and her beef with Reese, Angel Reese. Angel Reese made her just as much as she made Angel Reese, in my opinion. So I think that's the reason why they need something like Magic and Bird. When Magic and Bird came into the NBA, they were already very heavy contenders in the college circuit, Michigan State and Indiana. So if you put in there, you put that element into the WNBA because they need that. They need a bad boy reputation kind of thing going on between two players. That gets the ratings up. And I think that's the reason why the WNBA has picked up the ratings, because you do have your people that are Caitlin lovers and Caitlin, and then you have your people that are Caitlin haters. The same thing with Angel Reese, haters and lovers, whatever. One of the things that I don't like in this whole situation is because of the color difference. She's white, Caitlin and Reese is black. So they play on to each other. And the media loves that stuff. You know, they were trying to keep us focused on that kind of stuff and to the other stuff that's on there. So I mean, I just have a problem with that when it comes. They can be competitors. Just have them be competitors.
Right.
What they do on the floor is what they do on the floor. And, you know, Caitlin Clark, you know, I can see why she's gotten injuries, but people be coming after her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Folks be really coming after her.
You know, even targeted a little bit, to be honest, because she has a no filter attitude. Like she plays like she plays. They showed some film from her when she was a kid. Like she's always wanted to play in the WNBA. There's never been a time they showed her like literally as like a 4 or 5 year old out shooting hoops in her backyard because this is what she wanted to do. And so she's tough. And I really do agree. I wish they would just let the rivalry be whatever it is without the color. I'm so tired of everything being black and white. I wish everybody thought that way, that we could just see people for who they are and their differences despite the skin color. We all bleed red. Oh my God. But yeah, so hopefully it's nothing serious and she's able to come back. She's right now day to day. And like I said, those fever tickets are taking a plunge. I mean, that fever is cooling off. You hear me, Strilla? That fever has broken.
No more
all right.
No more fever.
Fever has broken. All right, let's talk about some NHL news real quick. The Bruins named their new head coach. The Boston Bruins have hired former Marco Sturm as their new head coach after missing the playoffs for the first time since 2016. And the Stanley Cup, of course, has now officially begun. The Oilers took game 1 in overtime against the Panthers. Now, the Panthers being the defending champs, do the Panthers, have they met their match, Strilla? Or do you think game 1 was just a lucky one?
Just remember, last year, these two teams played for the Stanley Cup. So, I mean, in Edmonton, obviously, is on its revenge tour because they didn't want to lose the Stanley Cup last year, and they did. So, this is going to be a good series. I think Edmonton is up to the challenge of playing Florida in this year, and I think it's just going to be.
Wow, they're just kidding. Nate wishes he was. His last name's Castro.
Yeah, he's Hispanic.
Yes,
he's Hispanic.
I don't know, but I mean, this is the revenge tour, like you said. I mean, it could literally go either way. Don't you agree?
I would think, I want to see what happens in the second game with Florida, because I mean, they played, both of them were off that was a great game. That was one of the best Stanley Cups.
The Panthers had the lead. I thought the game was a wrap.
Yeah, this Stanley Cup playoffs is good. I mean, the championship, the Stanley Cup itself, this is going to be a good series. This game was really good. This is one of the best games I've seen in a while for the Stanley Cups, and that's saying a lot because NHL isn't exactly the most popular sport, So
yeah, but it's picking up, as recent as the last couple of seasons because people feel like
international game.
Yes, and then they feel like football is not as exciting as it once was because you got so many rules and regulations. We'll get to that in a minute that they have or won't, enforce. So, people want a little bit of aggression out there, so they turn to hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you probably want Edmonton to win, don't you? I mean, they're not too far from you up there in your neck of the woods.
Well, I'm always against teams that are from Florida that are in the NHL. It doesn't make sense, you know.
How do you have a hockey team? Hockey is a cold game.
Exactly. That's how I mean, I know it's Neanderthal thinking, but you know, I just feel that teams that are in the North should be the ones that are in hockey. You know, I'm not trying to be prejudiced. I'm sure people in the South like hockey too. I mean, if you like hockey, you like NASCAR.
If you don't get snow, you shouldn't have a go. That's my thing. Florida does not get snow. Okay. North Carolina does get snow. So you get the Carolina Hurricanes.
And then what's really funny about the whole situation too, you got to figure that these stadiums that are in the South, because of the heat that's constant this time of year or constantly period, they have to keep those the ice cold. And see, up here it's natural. They can open a door. They can open a door like in the Little Caesar's Palace. They can open a door literally, and a cold wind will come in there, and it'll keep the ice cold. They won't have to use any equipment to do that. They still do, but it's a lesser of a pressure on rink management when they have, you know, when they're up in the North, because they don't have to go.
Yep, it's cheaper to keep it cold. And I think, didn't they just open a new stadium in Arizona somewhere last year? I was just like, what? Yeah. They were moving. Is it the Avalanche that they were moving to like Arizona somewhere? They moved some.
I don't think they're going to move the Avalanche there. I think some team moved from there. The Coyotes moved from there to Utah.
That's it.
They moved to Utah, the hockey club. That's what they call it.
But they were from Arizona, right?
Mm-hmm.
That made zero sense to me. That made
you mean being in Arizona or them moving to Utah?
No, being in Arizona with a hockey team. Like, speaking of Arizona, we're going to switch over to some MLB. This is heartbreaking for me to talk about, so I'm going to say it and just put it out there. Say it once and release it. The Atlanta Braves, my team since I was a kid, suffered a historic loss after having a 6-run ninth inning. In the ninth inning, they had a 6-run lead over the Arizona Diamondbacks and freaking lost in the ninth inning, Trilla. How many hits did the Diamondbacks have to make in one inning? This is horrible. I would have been heartbroken if I witnessed that in person.
Yeah, Arizona looks like they've been, let's see. They've been taking it to them too.
I mean, the last inning. Marcus, this is my brother. I texted Marcus. Thank you so much for watching tonight, Marcus. My younger brother. He's a Patriots fan. Thank you for joining me tonight, bro.
What's up, Marcus?
Love you, bro. Thank you so much. I know he's hard at work, so it means a lot that he tuned in tonight. And this is the first time Marcus has been able to be on my platform. So thank you so much, Marcus. So it looks like Eugenio Suarez hit a go-ahead 2-run double off of Racel Iglesias to cap a 7th-run ninth inning, and the Diamondbacks stunned the Braves 11-10. On today, this happened today, Trilla. This happened today. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. hit a 1-out homer in the ninth. Alec Thomas followed him with a 2-run shot, both off Scott Blewett, to get the Diamondbacks within 10-7. That's what started it. These are the days I miss Max Fried. I miss Freddie Freeman. I miss Swanson. I miss Dansby Swanson. I miss all of our guys that we really had. And this shows you why. This would have never happened with all of those stars. And then Soler, like, come on. What's up, Pink Fan Fur? Lady behind the wheels. Thursday, no BS building. Thank you, sis. Love you. Yeah. All right, yeah. So I mean,
the more fortunate thing is y'all got swept by Arizona. I mean, swept.
Well,
so
today
they won 8-3. They won 8-3 the first game, 2-1 the second game, and they came back and won 11-10 in the third game. So I know Atlanta is not playing good baseball right now. I think their relief pitching is not as up to it as they used. I think the starting pitcher is okay, not the best, but they're winning. They're losing some games they should be winning. But
I don't know what to say. To me, a historic loss like that, that's the laughing stock of the entire season right there.
Well, I mean, I'm just mad because the Detroit Tigers split with the Chicago White Sox in this series.
The one you came on talking about all Chicago shows you hated.
Yeah, I hate Chicago. Everybody knows me. I knows I hate Chicago. I'm sorry. I just dislike that city. I dislike the fans of that city because
you guys are in the same division. You're in the same division.
Yeah, it might be that because the Blackhawks aren't in a division with the Red Wings anymore. But when I still don't like them, and I like the Cubs though. Think about that.
You like the Cubs?
I like the Cubs.
That's a shock. That's a shock that you actually like
because their fans are not, they're not rabid like White Sox and Sox fans are rabid. Yeah, rabid.
No, I heard you. That's why I was like, oh my gosh. Robbie says they moved Arizona to Utah, and then he said he hopes the Oilers. Well, I got him early on that. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I'll tell you what we're gonna do real quick. Right after I greet this last person on here, we're going to go ahead and take our little 1-minute commercial break so we can get that knocked out, and we can go ahead and go to my favorite segment of the conversation. That is the NFL and the real BS that came out today from the NFL. You do not want to miss that. Trilla and I will be back in we'll be back in 56 seconds.
It's down there.
Yeah, yo, it's game time, ain't no messing around. Huddle Sports Network, the best in town. From NFL rumors to the latest trends, we got all your sports, just tune in, my friends. Catch us on Roku, Fire Stick, take your pick. Facebook, YouTube, where the action's slick. Daily shows that drop like a bomb. From 10 to 11, it's Ken and Ken, stay calm. Huddle up, catch the vibe, feel the rush. Get your news, get your fills in the clutch. Over 27 podcasts, we breaking it down. Join the team, Huddle Sports, wear the crown. Live every weekday, it's how we roll. Lions Talk with Jeremy B, we taking a stroll. From 11 to 12, don't miss a beat. We break down the game, make the info sweet. The Daily Huddle Podcast, noon to 1. CST Zone, we're just having fun. Toss your doubts, we bring the facts. Tune into the Huddle.
And we're back. That's what rhymes with that. Tune into the Huddle, and we're back. Welcome to the second half of our show. This is the No BS show. This is our debut show. I'm here with my boy, B. Trilla. What up, though? Again, thank you, everybody, for the likes, loves, comments, shares, and all that good stuff. Now, the news you've been waiting on. The real news. And why? Are you still with me, B. Trilla?
Yeah, I'm still here.
This is nothing but the devil. This is what I'm telling you about the No BS show, because all of a sudden my whole screen went out. There you are. This lets you know the news that's about to come out is really BS. Mm-hmm. Let's look at these comments real quick. Yes, National Streaming Sports, Marcus. Thank you. We are. Jack called before Jello and bedtime and said, get back on topic. You know what? But Jack won't comment. Speaking of Jack, thank you so much, Rick, before Jello and bedtime. We love you, Jack. Shout out to Jack, one of our great co-hosts. Jack should be on the road for some trip. I'm so glad I can sleep in tomorrow and not have to do that 8:00 show. He tried to get me to do it every day. And I was like, Jack, do you know the struggle I go through just to get up 3 times a week to be there? And that's during the week. So not even counting Saturday and Sunday, that's literally 5 times. Not an early bird like that. Speaking of Jack and other Jack stuff, Jack ASS, Aaron Rodgers, that's the No BS, came out today and saying he intends to sign this contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the long await is over. Any word on if it's actually etched in writing yet, Bistrilla? Because right now, looks like they said that they're only going to agree to give him 1 year. 1 year. I don't know what to think about that. 1
Well,
year.
first of all, he ain't going to be there. He's not going to be there to be a mentor. I can tell you that right now because he don't believe in that. He tells people, I'm not here to mentor nobody. I'm the quarterback
That's why they're
that's
giving
starting.
him 1 year.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's a good. I still don't think this is a bad idea for Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh should just roll what they got. I don't know why they have to sit there and
cater.
I think Tomlin is the one that loves them to death too, and I don't understand that.
That is, I'm shocked.
He wants them there, but I just don't understand why you wouldn't just roll with Mason. I mean, I know people don't like Mason, but I think he's a capable. He's won games before for him, so it's not like he's a bad quarterback. And then you got Will Howard in the back, and Will Howard is a pretty good quarterback too. Some say he was the best quarterback in this draft. I don't know about that, but the point of the matter is they got capable people to take over that position. You know what the real BS though is? AB. Yes, Antonio Brown. He went on Instagram and said that he talked to Aaron Rodgers and he wants to do a reunion with him.
Oh my God, no.
This is AB CTE. That's what I call it now.
No. No one, listen, first of all, like I was talking to you before the show in the group chat, Aaron Rodgers, if he does not sign this contract, everybody talks about his credibility is going to be shot. His credibility is equal to Dollar Tree right now with me. He is, I mean, let me just put it like this. I don't care if Mike Tomlin wants him. 1 year is not that confident in me. That's basically make or break.
Yeah, I mean, personally, yeah, I think that we take it to a different, but I mean, if you go to a team and you tell them, I'll be there in a couple of days to sign a contract, and your behind doesn't show up to sign a contract, in the NFL, that's credibility. You can't you can't do that. All right. As a player, you can't do that. I know teams do it all the time, but players can't do that. And players say that no matter how high strung A-Rod is, I wouldn't trust him to do anything. No,
I wouldn't even call him A-Rod. That's an insult to the real A-Rod to even call him that.
Well, I call him something else, but I'm not going to say it. But anyway,
I will say this. This is what, and I just pulled it up while we're here just to see if he signed. But Robbie gave us the news that he's supposed to fly out tomorrow. CBS Sports reported as of 9 minutes ago. This is really going to irritate me. The Steelers were basically trying to either re-sign Wilson or Justin Fields at quarterback before the start of free agency, but they failed. And even though they had tried to say that, they let those two gentlemen go to other teams, and they put themselves in this position where they had to either use Mason Rudolph or Will Howard that they drafted in the 7th round, who's not ready to go. They blocked themselves in Strilla. They had to take.
Well, you got to put it like this, though. They didn't even have a quarterback. Mason Rudolph got released from Tennessee, or he was a free agent, and they got him from Tennessee because he was at Tennessee at the time. So they really had no quarterback. I think who was the quarterback? Robbie, was it Scott Tyler, whatever his name is?
Yeah,
I forgot what it is.
How stupid,
that was their quarterback.
Can you be?
Well, I don't know what's going on with the Pittsburgh organization, to tell you the truth. This is not like Rooney. This is not like Rooney, like, to me. I don't understand what's going on with their ownership, that they're making these kind of weird decisions. And I think Tomlin is a spearhead of a lot of this too. And Tomlin's just trying to get them that win. He's trying to get them wins. That's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, they're basically saying, if he wins one more Super Bowl, then he could join Manning and Brady as the only quarterback to ever win at least 3 league MVPs and 2 Super Bowls. And that would basically cement him as a top 5 quarterback in NFL history.
Well, let me ask you something. If and when Aaron Rodgers signs with Pittsburgh, does that make them, and goofball aside, idiot aside, do you think that makes Pittsburgh a better team as far as offensively?
Let's see.
Because of his credentials as being a perennial Hall of Famer. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, I can't stand him, but there's a reason why I can't stand him, because he's that dang good. Okay. So he was good until he got to the Jets. So
yes. All right, so
downhill.
that's a good question. Let's look at it. By bringing Rodgers in, this is basically cementing their offense. They literally relied a lot on rebuilding their offense during the offseason, through the draft and free agency as well. They got Isaac Samalo at left guard, Zach Frazier at the center, Mason McCormick as right guard, and Broderick Jones right tackle. And then they got Troy Fontenot competing for the right tackle spot. Now they still got some of their lines and their backups. Dan Moore, of course, their backup offensive Calvin Anderson, Dylan Cook, Spencer Anderson, Ryan McCollum, Max Sharping, Lexius Smith, Doug Nestor, Stephen Jones, and Aiden Williams. The only concern that they have going into this season is Fontenot had an injury. This was during the preseason, of course, training camp. They just, talked about the right tackle position. And then, they just lost their tight end to an injury as well. We talked about that a couple of days ago on the show. The gentleman, his name escapes me, but
Fryer move, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't Fryer. It was oh my gosh. Actually, no. Kenneth, his last name's Kenneth. He came up yesterday. Tight end.
Well, that's why I think that's the reason why they were trying to make a trade for Miami for Jonnu Smith. Which
yes,
good.
That person. Yeah.
Really, to tell you the truth, I can't. As much as I have a disdain for Rodgers, and this comes from being a Lions fan anyway, my bias aside, I think that if he does come there, he's better than Russell
Jr.
Wilson.
Donald Parham Jr.
Yeah, Parham. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the reason why they were going after. There you go. Darnell Parham, Robbie.
Hang on one second. We got some comments here too, real quick.
Yeah.
Hang on one second. Got a lot going on here. Thanks everybody for the likes, love. Let's see. Got AB needs to shut up.
A-B-C-D-E.
All right, here we go. Robert says they botched the quarterback position. Fields should have never got benched to begin with. And of course, my brother coming in with a nice comment here. Thank you, bro. Says Pittsburgh lowered their standards by waiting on a quarterback that is past his prime and in his 40s. That's so true. Rodgers does not push them over the hump because there are too many elite quarterbacks in the AFC. That's a good point. There are a lot of elite quarterbacks in there. Robbie, his own team, saying Rodgers' stats didn't look that bad.
No, he didn't have bad stats last year. His team was a disappointment. He didn't have bad stats last year. I mean, as they were pedestrian for a Rodgers season, but like I said, I just think that I think he's better than Wilson. He's
not
better than
Joe Burrow.
He's not. Well, I mean, Joe Burrow. Cincinnati. I don't know why people are so high in Cincinnati. Joe Burrow's got two guys to throw to. Who's got running back? Nobody. The offensive line that probably won't. And it's not like Joe Burrow has never. Joe Burr has never had offensive line. He went to the Super Bowl without an offensive line, and that makes him a special quarterback. And you have a quarterback that is getting knocked down a lot of times, but still producing on the field. He's one of those quarterbacks. But at the same
Lamar
time, your defense,
Jackson, Josh Allen,
your defense is shady. I'm just talking about Cincinnati. Your defense is shady. You got a holy offensive line, a running game that nobody knows about really too much. So I mean, people got them winning 11 games. I don't even see how they can win 11 games. Yeah, you got Mahomes. Mahomes is
my bro said Mahomes, Burrow, Jackson, Allen, Herbert, Justin Herbert. Yeah, we hadn't even got it. And Robbie's saying, am I happy about Rodgers? No, but I'm not against it. I would prefer a young quarterback. Yeah, that's true. Because, and let me just tell you, Trilla, if he comes in there with this same nasty attitude that he brought to the Jets locker room, like it's his show, and then the Jets over there, Tomlin's going to see, first of all, I'm just so disappointed in Tomlin. I expect he comes off as this tough, no-nonsense coach. And you mean to tell me he ran behind him like a puppy to get him to come to Pittsburgh? Like, this man has made the Steelers a laughing stock. He better come in there and play lights out. He better come in there and play lights out, because if not, everybody's going to laugh at the freaking Steelers for being made you know what, and then they're losing on top of that.
Well, and Rodgers' skill set is fine. That's not the problem. But when you go in, like, you might be good at your job, but if you go in there one day and you just are PO'd at the world and you don't have a good attitude, your job's going to suffer for it. Your work day is going to suffer for it. And that's the thing that I worry about with Rodgers, what kind of attitude he's going to come into camp with, and what kind of attitude is going to keep going through the regular season. His playing ability is not the question. It's his mental ability that's the question.
He tells people he got issues he's dealing with, and nobody, his personal issues.
Yeah. Well, personal issues and mental issues are kind of two different things, but it's what you have on the field. If you feel you can do stuff, some people can get on the field and just shut it off. I was watching this Dale Earnhardt special about how he was when he was racing. A lot of emotion never came to him when he got on the track, because one of his great friends had passed when he was racing and died, and it was his best friend. Wow. And he when he got back on the track, he drove. That's how he got away from emotion. He just got on the track and drove. And this is the thing that I hope Aaron Rodgers can. I mean, I don't really care either way about Aaron Rodgers. Don't get me wrong. But Aaron Rodgers, in order for him he needs to take all that stuff out of his mind when he gets on the field and play football. If he cannot do that, then he's going to be the same guy they had in the Jets. So,
I mean, I didn't even realize until now that I'm looking him up that he was already 40, until my brother mentioned it. I thought he was close to it. He's going to be 42 in December. So when the season kicks off, he's going to be on the brink of turning 42. Everybody want to hit this 40 mark because they saw Tom Brady do it. And, I always said Aaron Rodgers wants to be Tom Brady. He wants to be like he came and rebuilt his team. Don't be surprised, even though you said AB came out and made this statement. But, they asked Mike Tomlin a while back about AB coming back. He just walked off. He didn't even have a comment.
Oh, he's not welcome in Pittsburgh anymore. As far as as long as Tomlin is there, he's not welcome there.
Robbie said the Jets are just cursed. Prime Peyton Manning couldn't win with that team. I don't know. Robbie, you're saying that now. I'd love to talk to you once your season kicks off.
Now, the first game of the season is Pittsburgh at the Jets, or is at Pittsburgh. I don't know which one it is, but it's Justin Fields, your old quarterback, versus the new quarterback, which will be Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers' old team, the Jets. So, and you're going to have a new coach in AG. You got Tomlin with Pittsburgh. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good game. I think AG will have the boys playing.
Robbie's making it sound like AB might be welcome back. He kept AB's attitude in check for 7 years. I think he can. But
did he though? Did he though? I mean, that's the reason why AB left. Because he didn't let him go.
How many games you see them winning now that they got Pansy up there?
Well, I did a show last night about the AFC North and what I thought each one of those teams did. I gave Pittsburgh second place in that division, but being 9-8. I think Rodgers can give them a couple of more wins, just because he's Aaron Rodgers. So I would say 11-6. I think they're going to be pretty good. Pittsburgh's not bad. They need a quarterback. That's the problem with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is not a bad team. Somebody pointed that out, and I kind of looked at it, and I stepped back and I looked at it, and I said, you know what? You're right. If the offensive line comes back and plays really well, they got Freiermuth. If they get Jonnu Smith, they got two capable tight ends. They got Metcalf. Hopefully he doesn't spaz out. Nobody talks about that as much as anything. Metcalf has a tendency to spaz out too, especially if he doesn't get the ball early in the game. You just took him out of the game, basically. And then you got Roman Wilson, who's a promise. And so, I mean, you got good running backs there. They just drafted two good running backs, and you still got Jaylen Warren. They don't have a bad team, and their defense is stacked. So they don't have a bad team, but they need somebody to guide them down the field on the offense. That the defense has never been their problem. The offense has been their problem the last 3 years. So,
what's up, Woody? Thank you for joining us tonight. He said the Steel Girls will win 8 games. Tough schedule. They have running backs not big name guys. Welcome, Woody. Thanks for joining us tonight. And Robbie now saying, I've been saying for a while, Steelers are a franchise quarterback. Oh my God. So listen, Robbie, we're dear friends and everything. But I will say this. Every year, they never say, this is what gets me with the Steelers. And I don't really care one way or another, but because that was my uncle's team. But they always say, they have not had a losing season. But you just say that just because you make it to the first round of the playoffs. Like what consists of a non-losing season?
I mean, I know everybody is like this, like your bro. He wants the attention and stuff like that. I understand that aspect,
Marcus. 100%.
But at the same time, you got to remember the man is a very good quarterback. Okay. So statistically, he's a good quarterback. If he gets out there and he doesn't have any of that stuff in his mind, or he's not taking mushrooms or any of that stuff.
Yeah, I just looked at they talking about him taking psychedelics and stuff. Like, isn't that stuff supposed to be banned in the league?
No, not if the league thinks it should be banned. I mean, they don't ban. I don't think they ban marijuana.
They're always getting people for PEDs. How is a hallucinogen not considered a banned substance? Crazy.
I don't know.
So in 2024, he had close to 4,000 yards with the Jets, 38.97. In 2023, that's the year, he went on down for the count in the first snap and didn't get nothing. And was still rated at a 39.6. 2022, he had over 3,500 yards. 2021, 4,000. Yeah,
he had back-to-back MVPs.
Yeah, his worst season was in 2017 when he had 1,675 yards in Green Bay. I don't remember what happened. He must have got hurt, and he only had 208 yards in 2007. 46.
Well, in the year that the Lions booted him out of the playoffs was his last year, and he didn't have a very good season that year, and that's when the Green Bay Packers decided not to re-sign him, and that's when he went to the Jets. So that was probably one of his worst seasons he's had in a while. In fact, his favorite receiver is Kirby Joseph of the Lions because he kept throwing interceptions all the time.
He got a mix up on the team. Marcus makes a good point, and it literally, I feel like this is a genetic thing that Marcus is literally saying exactly what I always say. Isn't it crazy, Bistro? Because I'm always talking like this, and now my brother's in here chiming in. It's literally like everything I've said. They're happy with an above 500 season and no playoff wins, and that's their standard.
And that's why I'm saying the Roonies. I don't understand that because they're a city of champions. They've won six Super Bowls. Come on, you got to come back to that. I mean, you just went to 2 Super Bowls in this century. You won one, you lost one, but still.
As I always like to say, the verdict is out on what he's going to look like there. The hype is over. We can all now have a great OTA and off season, the rest of it, without hearing the whole Aaron Rodgers debacle, if he's going to sign or not. One other banter of, couple of NFL news here. We wrapping up here in the next 10 minutes. You guys are awesome. The No BS show is awesome. B Strilla, you're breaking it. Anthony Richardson injured again. Shoulder injury. This dude has been injured every season since he's come into the league. But this is what gets me. And I know people, I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it because this is the No BS show. You hurt, but you out making babies at the house. Nothing's wrong with you that you're procreating, but you sitting on the sideline sucking up these people's money for the Colts. And I'm talking about it's OTAs, Strilla. It ain't even a preseason. You already out. You just got back.
So can we call? I don't like calling anybody a bust until after year 3, but this dude is barely making it to year 3. This is his third year he's working on. The first 2 years weren't very productive for him at all. He got benched in the middle of them. Then he decides, I'm tired. I got to take myself out of the game.
Oh, yeah, he did.
What football player does that? I have never seen a football player take themselves out of the game. I've seen one quit. Actually, just quit. Actually, I've seen 2 players quit on their team. But I've never seen somebody just take a play off and say, you know what, I'm tired. Let me come in there for a minute.
They're gonna get rid of him.
In there.
They're gonna get rid of him because guess what? The word
Daniel Jones is gonna take his spot, and that's gonna shock the world.
Yep, but this is the thing, and he's gonna be good at it. He's gonna get a revamp as a quarterback. This is the thing, though, Strilla. So he got this injury, right? But it's just an aggravation of an AC joint. No surgery needed. Why are you out the whole season? Why are you out?
Is he out the whole season, really?
Yeah, they said indefinitely.
Oh, well, indefinitely. So I don't know.
Sideline indefinitely. Possibly season ending, or the exact words CBS is using. Throwing shoulder. The same surgery from 2023 October during his rookie season. So
they're saying no timetable for return.
Yeah, but no surgery. Of course, Shane Stickens saying that Richardson will miss the remainder of the offseason, including next week's mandatory minicamp. Hopes that Richardson can return at some point during the training camp, which starts July 22nd. But he didn't have a definitive timetable. My bro says he doesn't impress me. He's a quitter, and the Colts are wasting their time and money on him. Absolutely.
I agree with you, Marcus.
I mean, he's missed his first 2 seasons, Strilla, like you said. This is the 3rd season. Missed significant time, more time on the bench than he was in a uniform.
Both seasons,
still collecting the money. Right. And initial joint missed 12 games in 2023 for an AC joint sprain. 2024 back spasms, but like I said, you at home laying up making babies, but you got back spasms on the field. That's
the reason he's putting in too much time in the bedroom and not enough time on the field. That's the reason why his back.
The whole post up about becoming a dad and all this, but your back hurting too much to throw a pitch.
He must be doing it well.
Right. And then it gets worse. It gets worse. And then an oblique hip injury. Hip injury.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
You're playing what's that, Twister, and
I don't
doing
know.
it at the same time?
There's something going on in his house. But it said he was briefed in favor of Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, who's almost 50 years old, who came from home eating him a cup of soup and some toast. They called him from home in front of his fireplace to come out there and try to make a better job with the Colts. I feel bad for the Colts. It's always something with them. They got Jeff Saturday up there trying to coach them a while back. I mean, I may as well apply for the position.
It's not a good year for the Colts. I mean, they just lost their owner, Irsay.
That was horrible. That's just a couple weeks ago.
Richardson has been on and off. They made a big investment in Richardson, and he's not panning out right. I can't, like, it's his 3rd year. Like I said, I don't usually call people a bust until their 3rd year and they're not doing anything, but he's on his way to making that iconic bust.
They're going to be trying to trade him for the Lowski as a backup somewhere. And I don't know who's going to take him with his injury history. Mm-hmm. And they're having to be extremely cautious. And speaking of not injury, but on the flip side of that, you got players that don't want to sign contracts, Strilla. Trades are now coming up with this whole Trey Hendrickson and Tyreek Hill because they're trying to hold out for contracts. I get it, salary cap issues. But Trey Hendrickson is like, no, I'm not showing up to nothing till they run me my money, till they give me what I thought. I mean, he did put up, 17 and a half sacks. He was doing really good, and he said that the word was promised to him. But now they don't want to honor that verbal commitment. And they feel like he's not going to get it. What's up, Steve-O? Thanks for joining us on the No BS show. It's our debut show. Richardson and CJ, bad shoulders, maybe big arms don't help.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, let's just put it this way. I kind of bend the ear toward Hendrickson, and I kind of bend the ear toward the Bengals. Is a Hendrickson, you still got a year left on your contract, bro. Mm-hmm. I'm really tired of these players. I'm tired of these players trying to, they got a year left in their contract, and all of a sudden somebody else is getting paid more than them, Myles Garrett in his own division. And then you're trying to get that money. Now, first of all, you need to talk to your agent. because your agent's giving you some bold contracts to start off with in the first place. You should be making more. This is the same thing I say about Hassan Reddick too. Whoever your agent is, you need to fire them.
And they put him up there to talk about it for 20 years. Right.
Hassan Reddick did actually fire his agent when he was with Philadelphia because he couldn't get anything done with him. But he just signed to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for just about as much as he did when he was with the Jets.
Yeah,
dude, if you're trying to collect higher pay, then why are you taking these bum behind jobs with other teams for less than you're supposed to be making? You're making 12.5. That's nothing. And you were putting up the numbers at the time. He was going through the contract dispute. Hassan Reddick, he was 4th in the league in the last 4 years in sacks.
Mm-hmm.
Hendrickson was above him, and then it was Myles Garrett and T.J. Watt. So I mean, those guys get paid. T.J. Watt's definitely going to get paid by Pittsburgh. Myles Garrett's already gotten paid. Hendrickson is trying to get that bag too. He's another one with the agent that's just not. What is going on with these agents? These agents don't have self-worth for their players anymore.
I'm in the wrong field.
Coming in with your hands balled up and say, "Look, you give him a player this much, or he ain't playing for you." How about that?
Yeah, it's like a mobster type mentality.
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of understand where Hendrickson's coming from, but I also understand where the Bengals are coming from. And then the Bengals aren't the greatest organization either when it comes to players. They
invested all their money in their offense. They don't even have no money left.
And then they picked up a guy that's he's a project, and in my opinion, in a draft, the guy he has no production. He's got skills. He's an athlete, but he has no production for that. So, and I guess they're putting all their all their bread in that bucket. So,
yeah, I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, this is one of those situations. Everybody is greedy. And it's like if you get $1 million, then I got to get $1 million. If this person gets $1 million, then I got to get $1 million. It's a competition of who can get the most money first. That's basically what it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, they've had trade. Everybody got the Lions back on that radar again about trading for him. And I keep trying to tell you, it's not about the draft picks. The Lions couldn't care about the draft picks. It's the money that you have to pay him once he comes here. That's the problem the Lions have right now. That's the reason why you don't hear any grumblings from the Lions and Allen Park about trading for him. You hear everybody else on the outside say, "Oh, yeah, the Lions should trade for him." No, they got plenty of draft picks. The draft picks aren't the problem. It's what you got to pay him once he gets here that's the problem. And the Lions don't want to do that. They're trying to be even Steven with their money. They're Dollar Tree Lions right now. That's what we call
Look, like I said about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I a part of me, is like, the Panthers got their people lined up. Finally, there's no drama about nobody needing a contract, nobody going anywhere else, nobody not doing anything. In fact, everybody's actually speaking optimistically about the Panthers, basically talking about, we have done the work. How they like to say, you've done the work, you've done your work, you've done your due diligence. Now it's just making the plays on the field. So I'm actually optimistic. I will say that about my team going in, because there's no drama surrounding us, no quarterback fiasco. We re-signed Andy Dalton. He knows he's the backup. And we got T-Mac, got a whole bunch of people. Only bad thing is Jonathan Brooks, of course, went out. J.C. Horn now has had to have back surgery. Tommy Tremble also some type of surgery. I think Tommy actually is with the back surgery. Horn has some type of injury. And so we just got to get those guys as healthy as we possibly can. Jonathan Brooks will not be back this season at all. The Panthers cleaned house with the medical staff because he was cleared too early last season and went down, I believe, in the Philadelphia game again with another Achilles in the other leg. So, it's just the grace of God if he's able to come back into the league and play, period, because he's not had an opportunity to really play. But yep, we got about only a few seconds left. Trilla, let everybody know how to find find you, because we'll be back on tomorrow night with Friday with the fellas on Prim and Proper Sports.
Well, we're not having a show this week, folks. One ass cheek, three toes. Not having a show Sunday. But the June the 15th is our next show, 4 p.m. Sunday. Join us. We will have a very good show. No more debates, and there's a reason for that, but we won't get to that.
We know why.
But anyway, we'll be back on June 15th. Go ahead, Sonja, with you.
Yeah, Prim and Proper Sports, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll be on tomorrow night live, Friday night with the fellas. You guys know how to find me. Thanks, everybody, for likes, love, comments, and shares. And we wish you all a good night.
Peace.
Made history with us tonight.
Angels fascinated, reporting back to the maker. I'm emancipated, blow a kiss out the neighbor. Saying bye to Felicia, saying hi to Miss Parker. I was in the darkness, didn't stop me shining though. I was at the bottom, but it didn't stop me climbing though. Talents, we ain't hiding those. Cook out, I'm providing flows. Homie, you invited, getting reunited. With the real you no longer gotta hide it. They love to see us fighting, love it when we are divided. Yo, we about to make a man. Food on